I was at the dentist the other day and my biggest fear happened. My jaw locked open. Literally only there for two things. I was getting a simple procedure on my gums and then a filling. Now, I did tell Miss Girl, hey, I do have TMJ and my mouth open for a long time for things like this. I get a lot of soreness. Anyway, she does a little 1-2. She does a little procedure on the gums. Maybe it took like 20 minutes. And then she's like, okay, now close. Girl, I could not close. My mouth was stuck like a pelican and it was so painful. Basically, my jaw is locked and what she does is sticks her hands inside my jaw and starts literally like shoving me around. And then she's like, oh, we need a man. I'm not strong enough to do this. I'm like... Then a male dentist comes in and he does the same thing. Sticks his hands inside my mouth and literally just starts like moving me around, shaking my head. And then he has the nerve to be like, oh, you're being such a good sport. Like, wow, I like you. And honestly, I was. I think for two reasons. One, I think my psychiatric drugs really kick in sometimes where horrible things that happen to me for whatever reason don't affect me in the immediate moment because all I could do at that point was laugh. So if you don't follow me already, I've also been battling a kidney disease. Literally was in the hospital a few weeks before this. So I was just like, you know what? Like, this is my life at this point. Anyway, this male dentist can't do it. So then another dentist comes from, I think from a dental surgery center upstairs. And he's like, okay, honey, who's your emergency contact? Oh, whenever someone says that to me, it's a wrap. Like, oh, I was so mad. And he was like, okay, we're gonna have to take you upstairs because we're gonna have to give you some medication and you won't be able to drive home. So can you get your mom or who da 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 da? My assistant, thankfully, was like 5 minutes away. So she took an Uber to my car so that she would eventually be able to take me home. Anyway, they're like, we also need to do x-rays. So they take me to another office upstairs and my jaw is locked. I'm in a lot of pain. And they take one of those machines and they do an x-ray on me. And then after that, they take me to this room and they put an oxygen mask on me, a blood pressure cuff, and then a pulse oximeter. And then two ladies, I don't know if they're hygienists or nurses, but one holds my hand, the other one holds my head. And then the dentist basically climbs on top of me. His knee is like on the chair, shoves his hand in my mouth and is doing like the same thing, like, and at this point I'm sobbing, I'm shaking because it is so painful. Basically what they said is my muscles pretty much tensed up so much that they needed to try to open them in order for the joint to get back in place because it had dislocated. Literally, when I tell you, I've never given birth before, so I can't say I relate to that, but it was kind of that vibe where everyone was like, oh my gosh, you're doing so good. Just hold on, just hold on. I was like, oh, it was so traumatic. Like, I was so wrong in the beginning where I was so calm and just laughing because I automatically assumed it would be some type of like chiropractor situation where they could pop it back in. No, girl, it took 2 hours for them to put my jaw back in place. 2 hours. My appointment for, what I came there for was at 1:30. I didn't get home till after 4 o'clock. They were eventually able to pop the joint back into place and I was finally able to close my mouth. Then I opened again and it popped right back out. So they had to force it back again. The second time was a lot quicker, but it was still extremely dramatic just knowing that all this work can also be for nothing because apparently it could just pop back out. After they were done, I literally just sat in that chair and sobbed while a woman held ice packs against my face. And then I went in the bathroom and cried some more. Then I finally got to go home and I cried some more. And then they were like, also you need to be really careful with like chewing an apple or yawning or laughing because it could pop right back out. So that was a few days ago, but I still have a lot of anxiety about popping it back out. Like, even when I catch myself laughing, I'm like holding my jaw like this because I do not want to go through that ever again. Again, I've been fighting a kidney disease for these past few months and I literally was in the hospital almost like exactly a month ago. And in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna go back to the hospital? Like, this would actually be my 3rd time at the hospital this year. It was a lot. I have been through so much trauma in my life, literally in my Job era, but that was definitely one of the worst things that's ever happened to me. And I've been through a lot of bad stuff. That was bad. Really, them shoving my gum so much, I have all these cuts inside my mouth that took like a while to heal. Keep in mind, I went through all of that with no pain medicine, no nothing, because I literally could not swallow because my mouth was stuck open. Moving forward, I need y'all to check on me every couple of days because I don't know what's going on.